Habertürk'ten herkese merhabalar. Bu yıl 25. kez gerçekleştirilen Dünya LNG Zirvesi ilk kez İstanbul'da gerçekleştiriliyor. Üst düzey enerji liderlerini bir araya getiren zirvede yanımda çok önemli de bir konuğum var. Etkinlik için İstanbul'da bulunan ABD Ticaret ve Kalkınma Ajansı Direktör Vekili Thomas Hardy ile ABD'nin LNG yatırımlarını, Türkiye ile ABD arasındaki LNG işbirliklerini, enerji projelerine yönelik Amerikan finansmanını ve geleceğe dönük anlaşmaların çerçevesini konuşacağız. First of all, welcome to Istanbul and thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you very much. It's great to be here.
So I would like to start with the global LNG market and the role of US LNG. So when you look at the global LNG market today, how would you describe the role of US LNG as of 2025? And in particular, how do you see the position of Europe and Turkey, of course, within this picture?
I think the LNG market right now has been revolutionized. The President Trump has signed the American Energy Dominance Executive Order that's really laid out a vision for pushing out more American molecules into the global economy in a way that is going to provide long-term stability for our partners. And I think that's the start of it. And then that's where USTDA steps in. It's not necessarily only about getting the molecules into the market, but it's also about making sure that infrastructure is done in a way in markets that can receive that infrastructure. And that's really why I've been here in Turkey, is talking to government officials, private sector, on what can the U.S. government do to help partners throughout the region have and build the infrastructure to accept U.S. LNG. And that's what's going to drive economic growth, both here in Turkey, but around the world.
And Mr. Hardy, recently in an interview, you said that our approach is looking at all energy projects and not being hamstrung by only one, like renewables. So in this context, I would like to ask that how do you position LNG within the United States external economic policy and energy diplomacy?
Well, I look at the global economy in a way that our partners around the world want energy that's going to serve their people, serve their economy, drive industry growth, and you need solid baseload power. And LNG provides that power. And I think what is unique about this time and the revolution that's taking place in the LNG is we're in a position to provide the global market and global customers the energy they need to support broad-based economic growth in markets that are looking to expand, but also markets that don't even have access to gas right now or baseload power. What's happening is we're now being able to build that infrastructure that's going to get access, help these countries get access for people that don't have power to sustainable, clean, liquefied natural gas.
And how would you define USTDA's core mission in energy projects globally and particularly in LNG? And how do you contribute both to energy security and the participation of American companies in these projects?
Sure. USTDA is the U.S. government's first mover on infrastructure development. We make the earliest investment through grant funding in the capital stack on project preparation, feasibility studies, pilot projects, design engineering, front-end engineering, design work. The tough work where the capital is most difficult to raise, but is laying the foundation to take an idea to concept to construction and financing. And that is the role that USTDA is playing, is helping our partners in emerging markets around the world move these projects, whether it be a pipeline, an LNG import terminal, storage, gas-fired power. All of these are needed to grow the global economy, but also provide a market for US LNG. And that's where USTDA excels, which is positioning American companies to be leaders in infrastructure development in the energy space.
And where do you position USTDA within the broader LNG value chain, from project preparation to financing and implementation? And what role does USTDA see for itself in the LNG sector as part of US-Turkey Energy Cooperation?
Sure. USTDA has 30 years of working in Turkey on energy development, and we're amazed by the work that's taking place and the leadership that Turkey has, just even this World Gas Conference, to be able to see BOTAŞ and the ministry take such a leadership role in bringing industry and bringing government officials from around the world together. And it's the crossroads of the world. It's not a surprise that this conference is being held here in Turkey, and it's a great statement to demonstrating Turkey's leadership role in gas infrastructure, but also moving gas in a way that provides safety and security, energy security, for all of the neighbors in the region as well.
And which financing and technical assistance instruments can USTDA provide to Turkey in the LNG sector?
Sure, I think the most obvious is the feasibility study, that work that USTDA is known for, which is taking an unbiased view of what is the best option for taking an infrastructure idea to financing. So through USTDA's feasibility study, we're looking at economic analysis, financial analysis, sources of supply, any regulatory barriers. And it's the holistic view of what is it that's needed to raise the capital. Because at the end of the day, anything that's going to be built has to be economically viable. And that's what USTDA provides, is that unbiased view, and hopefully provides our partners in Turkey a roadmap to build the next generation of infrastructure.
What role could U.S. companies play in Turkey's efforts to become a regional gas trading hub?
Well, I think USTDA is at the forefront of bringing U.S. companies to Turkey. As I said, for 30 years we've been working in Turkey in the energy space. At this conference here, I've met with numerous gas companies, LNG companies that are on the export side, but also EPC contractors that are looking at Turkey, looking at other countries in the region, and coming to USTDA saying, help us, because we see a huge market opportunity here to make the investment, to help our partners in the region make the investment in infrastructure. And that's the uniqueness of being here today, which is carrying out President Trump's vision for American energy dominance, but doing it in a way that helps American companies be positioned to lead in infrastructure development in the region.
And lastly, recently USTDA has focused on projects aimed at diversifying supply chains for critical minerals.
Sure.
There also seems to be a growing appetite in terms of financing as well. So how is this growing appetite reflected USTDA's priorities? And how do you envision Turkey developing cooperation with US institutions in this field?
For USTDA, we have prioritized critical mineral development for the first time as a global priority for the agency. It's driven by the President's directives, Secretary Rubio's directives of supporting economic growth, commercial diplomacy, and that's led us to rethink and create within our own agency a critical minerals team that's dedicated to finding where are the best opportunities that we can help with extraction, with processing, but it's beyond just the critical minerals. Sometimes it's ancillary infrastructure. It's the energy that's going to power the mine. It's the rail line that's going to bring the minerals to market. So USTDA is taking a holistic approach at how do we invest in critical minerals that's going to bring more minerals to the market and keep them in friendly hands to break the supply chain barriers that currently exist in the critical mineral space.
Thank you very much for joining us and answering these questions.
Thank you very much. It was fantastic.